Great day. Good morning. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Hot Hustle Morning Show. I am your host, and your favorite bundle queen, Jerisha Hawk. I'm a high-ticket sales coach, digital business consultant, and I help experts like you take the skills you already have and turn that into a signature service that you can sell consistently. And today we're going to be talking about the 5 areas to focus on for your business growth in 2019. I've been doing some polls on Instagram and really reading your comments from the live streams that we've been doing over this past month. And so many people are understanding, okay, I need to be more disciplined. I need to focus on some different areas for me and my business, but where do I need to be focused? How do I know where I need to focus on first? How do I know where I need to focus on next? And in which order do I need to be focusing my attention and my efforts? So if you've been in that boat, we're going to talk about that today. And as you guys are popping on, feel free to say, hey, let me know you're in the comments, throw some hearts up on the screen, just pop in the comments and let me know you're here. I see Stacy's on, Janae, Scott, Elevate Your Empire, Jasmine, Nicole, Jay is on. Hey guys, hi Amber. Really excited that you guys are here. Happy 4th of July. I was wondering, I'm like, are people going to be up in the morning on the 4th of July? I was thinking that this morning when I woke up. And my fiance was like, why are you getting up so early? I'm like, I don't know. Today another day to me. Just fireworks are involved. Like, I don't know. Today's just another day. But, Monique, did you change your URL name for your IG? I'm feeling it. So, like I said, I want us to talk about the 5 areas where you need to focus on and in what order you need to focus on those things for you to experience the growth that you desire this year in 2019. And let me know, is anybody feeling like they need this? Like, is anybody feeling, okay, Jay, I'm ready to get balls to the walls, okay? Like, I'm ready to take off, do whatever is necessary, but I struggle with focus. Like, analysis paralysis is real. I don't know how I need to make decisions on what first or when or next, and I just don't know whether or not I'm on the right track. Can anybody relate to that feeling? And if so, this is definitely going to be one where you might want to listen to this twice. You definitely are going to want to take notes on this episode, because these are things that, regardless if you're in the very beginning stages, regardless if you're already at the point where you're making income, or regardless if you're at the point where you already have team members, today's episode is going to be so critically important. And these are really the things that I have noticed in the 5 areas of focus that I have really learned. And I think one thing that I want to remind you of as you're listening to this, as you're taking notes, and when you start to implement this, is that you want to focus on what the next area of your focus needs to be. Right now that we're going to know the 5 areas you need to focus on, you only want to pay attention to where you are right now and how do you get to the next level. I would not be crazy focused on trying to skip levels, okay? Like, there's no reward in you skipping levels in this. So I just want to state that now, because I know we have some ambitious individuals who are listening right now. We have some overachievers. And when you are building a business, you can get in the fast lane for things, but there's very rarely an opportunity for you to take a shortcut, right? Like, you can get in the fast lane, but you still got to drive down the route. So in order for you to really get the growth that you want to experience and to have the momentum that you want, I need you to be committed to focusing on where you are and just what that next step is. Okay? So the very first area of focus, if you're struggling with how to give hearts on IG, just double tap the screen. If you just double tap the screen, hearts will start to fly. And if you're on Facebook, there's all the little icons that you can click and throw some love up to. So the first area of focus that you want to be paying attention to is sales. Write that down. Number 1 is sales. You're not going to hear me say go create content. You're not going to hear me say go make 1 million freebies. You're not going to hear me say I need to create some $19 physical workbook that I'm going to be selling because like, Jay, my workbook is bomb and I need to make this planner. I need to make this guide. Your number one focus should be high ticket sales. And the reason why is if you like, let me know what your income goals are in the comments too, as we're going through this. Because if you have an income goal that's more than $2,000 a month, we are not about to go down the route of you trying to get there selling a $7 product. Especially if you don't have a large audience. Like if you don't already have an existing audience to sell these things to, and what I mean by having an existing audience is having like, 500 to 1,000 qualified leads who already want the product that you're about to sell at a low ticket. We're not about to go down that route. And there's tons of episodes on the podcast, tons of live streams I've done that talk about the importance of flipping the funnel, but you need to focus on high ticket sales first and foremost. Reason being, if your income goal is $6,000 a month, $5,000 a month, $10,000 a month, you only need to sell 2 to like 5 clients for you to hit your income goal. So your number one area of focus, this is tough for people who are in the beginning stages, is sales. Making money is your number one priority. People are like, well, Jay, how do I beta test to see if this works? Go see if somebody will buy it. Like that is the best way to validate an idea, to validate what you think your service should be, is to get somebody to pay for it. You don't want to, I am not a fan of build an audience first and then sell later. I'm a really big fan of focus on a minimum viable audience, something so specific and so niche, where when you start to introduce your offer, they come to you. You're like the magnet. You're like, hey guys, I'm looking for this type of person who's wants to solve this specific problem. And it's so specific where you will stick out like a sore thumb in a room or in a crowd. That's how niche we want you to be. Yeah, y'all might need to moisturize the edges for this one. Okay, y'all might need to moisturize the edges for this one. But we're gonna gather you today. We want to get you together. Like we have 6 months left of the year. Like it's no time to be playing around. Like somebody's like, I was going through the comments in the Facebook group yesterday and so many people were saying, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling in a state of chaos. Guys, overwhelm is an option. Chaos is a choice. If you like, those are choices. And people are just constantly telling me, well, Jay, I feel this, I feel this, I feel this. Feelings are not facts. And feelings are not doing anything right now to add to your financial situation. The main thing that you are struggling with is focus. And if you can't, like your number one focus in business, period, should be sales. How do I make money? Right? Do not it is like I've gone down the route. I've got sucked in by the Facebook ad marketers who pull us in with these inflated promises. I've done it and it didn't work. Like it's not where your focus should be. Like you do not need to build a large audience. You do not need to create tons and tons of free content. You should definitely not be posting a timeline feed full of motivational quotes. We're going there. You should not be spending, if you only have 10 hours a week to work in your business, work on your business, you should not be spending 6 of those hours playing around in Canva trying to make workbooks. Guys, that is not where the focus should be. The focus should be, how can I package a service based on a skill that I already have and sell that to somebody at a 4-figure price point? Because if I can convert one client at $1,500, one client at $2,500, one client at $5,000, that will change my current situation dramatically. Me selling a $7 product, after Stripe fees and after the software you paid for to get that sale, you didn't make any money. Selling the $97 workshop, like the amount of effort it's going to take for you to sell 100 of those when you don't already have an audience to sell to, it's not like, you guys know I'm really big on, you need to focus on what makes sense for the season that you are in. Number one area of focus when you are starting off is to make money. Like the goal should be, how can I sell services to the point where I'm making 5 figures? That's it. Like that is where your number one focus should be. How can I package an offer? How do I understand how to position this service? How do I learn how to sell this service in the most minimalistic way And the most minimalistic way for you to sell is, I really believe, live streaming sales calls. You don't have to go produce a podcast. You do not need to create these overly edited YouTube videos. I do not need you to, create a fancy website for you to publish a blog on. Like, just go live. There's no tech. Everybody here who's watching this or listening to this right now, you have access to just go live right now. Content, that's it. Let's move. And live video allows you to connect with your audience on a deeper level. It allows you to build trust faster. It is such an amazing medium. And for some of y'all, I already know y'all thinking, but Jay, I can't do lives. Lives scare me. I just want to know, I have a question. Have you ever FaceTimed Bae? Ever? Just have you ever FaceTimed Bae? Have you ever FaceTimed your children? Have you ever FaceTimed a friend? Then you've already gone live before, boo-boo. I don't want to hear nothing. There are things that we can do to help you become more prepared and confident on your live streams. Yes, that is available, but you know how to go live. You've already done it. If you've been on FaceTime, you've already gone live. So first thing you need to focus on is, what is the simplest way for me to sell and make money? Number one focus is sales. Like, write that down on a Post-it note, put that on your phone, put that as a screensaver on your desktop, on your computer. Your number one focus should be sales. You need to be making money. So that's really like, how can you get to a point where you've made 5 figures, right? Start getting sales. You need to make money. The second area of focus for you needs to be service. Service. Now that you've made money, how are you getting people consistent results? And I know that these 5 steps I'm going to lay out for you are going to be very counterintuitive to what you hear other people saying, because I'm not going to sell you a dream half off. Y'all know we're not about that here. We keep it 100 all the way. And it's radical transparency. Like, this is what is really required for you to go out there and make money and get to a point where you're making 6 figures and position yourself for 7. And nobody's going to tell you this. Why? Because it's not as sexy as, like, let me show you how to grow your email list. Let me show you how to build your Pinterest page. Let me show you how to make a super cute website, logos included. Like, it's not as fun. Those are all aesthetics. Like, those are things that amplify what currently exists. If you don't have this baseline, boo-boo, we are going to be stuck. So number one, sales. Number 2 is service. And what I mean by service is, do you have, like, you really want to start perfecting your methodology to get people results? And so now you started making money. Okay, how do you ensure that every client that you work with is getting a result, is getting the result that you promised? And then it's like, okay, as I'm going through my service, how do I document my methodology to the point where I'm able to get these results consistently? Meaning that every time a client comes in, or a high frequency of the time when a client comes in, we're getting these results. Those are the first 2 things you need to do. And you hear, like, what are some things, like, let me know, how is this counterintuitive to what you maybe already thought or had believed? How is this different than maybe what you had initially thought you needed to be focused on or needed to be doing? Like, let me know. Like, this is a 2-way conversation right now. I know I'm snatching edges, but we're going to do this with grace. Yes. Okay. Let me know in the comments, like, how is this maybe counterintuitive to what your actions are right now, or what you've already been working on, and like, oh crap, okay, maybe I do need to realign. So number 1 is sales. You need to make money. You need to figure out a minimum viable audience, figure out what is a high ticket service that I can sell based on the skills that I already have, and how can I sell it in the most simplest way possible? Live stream sales calls. There's like very minimal tech required. And then service, how do I document my methodology? How do I really start to develop what my framework is to get somebody results? How do I really document my ingredients list and my recipe to get somebody results consistently? Those are the first 2 things you need to focus on. After that, that is when you need to focus on your structure. Number 3 is structure. And this is something that I think, what I mean by structure, this is really identifying what is my business model. So as you realize, the first 2 steps, you probably don't have a business model. Your business model is selling services. There are no tripwires. There are no, there might be an additional service that you sell. There's not a bunch of upsells and downsells. There's not these digital courses, digital products, live events, workshops. There's not a million different things that you're doing. The first two phases, you are focusing on a service to one person in a very simple way to deliver it. Number two is, how do I now, as I'm getting money, document my methodology so I can get people consistent results? Because these results are the thing that are going to allow you to build your track record. And as you start to develop your track record and you start to develop getting results, it makes it way easier getting clients when, like, again, they're not buying you, the personality. They're buying your intellectual property. They're buying your process. That's how you want to position yourself as an expert. And that's really how you kind of remove yourself from the mass of everybody else in the online game or in any industry that you're in, is by having a proven framework. Like, you look at like Dale Carnegie, Tony Robbins, like you look at any of the big dogs, they're not selling themselves as a personality. They're part of it. But the thing that's really selling is their method, their framework, their intellectual property. These are the 5 steps that you need to go through. Like, if you guys have read the book, that 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, 7 Habits of Highly Successful People is a framework. That's how you develop that's how you develop your expertise. Step 3 is your structure. This is when you really start, as you start getting clients, as you start making money, as you start developing your framework, until you've done those things, it's really difficult for you to identify what should my business model be that gets me to 6 figures. And I know people get stuck on this. Like, there's so many different types of business models to get you to the result that you want to get to. But until you know what service you're selling and you know how to sell that service, it's really difficult. And this is probably why you might be right now in a state of overwhelm or in a state of chaos, because you haven't done the groundwork. You're trying to skip the steps. Well, what should my business model be? Or how do I have it? I need this complicated business model because I'm trying to mimic this millionaire that I see. And it's like, I need you to start where they started. Right? Like, it's difficult to come in and the different type of business models I look at is really the most simplistic way to look at it. There's ways you can kind of expand this. Is either high ticket, low volume, or low ticket, high volume, meaning you're selling a higher ticket offer to a smaller number of people, or you're selling a lower ticket offer to a high volume of people. Those are really like the 2 general business model buckets that you fall into. And then once you fall into those buckets, there's so many different ways to go about doing it. Selling one-on-one services. Do we have an agency? Do we develop a digital course business model? Like, do I develop a membership model? There's so many different ways, but until you have a problem that you've been able to solve and you've validated by making money and you've really validated by getting people consistent results, your only focus should be is one-on-one. Well, I can't scale that. Well, you don't have anything to scale right now. Like, you can scale that. I'm not saying that you have to do one-on-one for forever, but you do need to do one-on-one to develop your foundation and to start making money and to lay the bricks. Like, you need to lay the base. So step 3 is when you start to really get clear on what is the best business model for me based on the results I've been able to get and based off the clients that I serve. Right? So once you do one-on-one validates everything. One-on-one gets you money in the door. One-on-one gives you capacity because now you actually have income to do different things in your business. Getting consistent results for that client, step 2 in service, that's like, okay, I actually know that what I know how to teach it to somebody else, or what I know how to do for somebody else to get them consistent results. Then in step 3 is where you define and you start to gain clarity on what should my structure be. Exactly. Should I be taking my one-on-one services and now make this into a signature program? Should I take my one-on-one service and turn this into an agency? Like, you don't define your structure until after you've done those first 2 things. But then in step 3, that's really where you start to get clear on what should my business model be. And at this point, you have a healthy 5-figure business. Okay? And when you get to the business model part, you have a healthy 5-figure business. Because your model before that is just one-on-one. We're making contact. I told somebody else this in the Facebook group yesterday, like, stop focusing on making more content. You need to focus on making contact. Sales is a contact sport. So in order to, these first 3 phases is about contact. Like, this is one-on-one relationships, one-on-one sales, one-on-one results. Like, that's all it is. It is a contact sport. And until you know how to make contact, then we can figure out what game you playing. Okay? And that's when step 3, where we figure out what business model will best serve you to grow. but we're not there yet. So step 3 is structure. And I know some people are like, well, Jay, what about my systems? That's not until step 4, because you don't know what systems you need to put in place until you know what service you're selling, until you know who you're selling that service for, until you know what your business model is. You don't know what systems you need to put in place yet. So when people are in like ground zero, they're like, Jay, I need to put systems in place. A system for what? The only system you should be focusing on in steps 1 through 3 is your sales system. What is my sales process? How do I make money? That is the only system your focus should be on in the beginning stages is sales, 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 sales. Okay? You don't focus on developing out your systems. And when I say systems, this is where we really start to automate more aspects of your business, where we start to delegate more aspects of your business. That's not until step 4, people. 4. Not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4. You ain't got nothing to systemize. You have no methodology to turn into a course. A course is a system where you're able to deliver your service in an automated way. If you don't have a service that you've already proven, what are you putting into a course? Like, why? Like, if you want to systemize it, how can I work with more clients at once? If you haven't been able to get somebody a result one-on-one, why are you trying to skip to a group? It's I just think you're making it more difficult for yourself than it needs to be. And I get it. It's hard to stay focused because you have so much marketing and ads being shot at you on a daily basis. Like, you have to use discernment and be able to say like, yeah, homegirl, I hear you, but I'm not there yet. Like, yep, that business model might be dope, but I'm over here on step 1. I'm trying to figure out how to sell a service. I'm trying to nail down my sales system. Like, you do not need to be worrying about automating or systemizing pretty much anything until after you've gone through steps 1 through 3. Okay, so step 4 is systems. And what I mean by systems is this is where we start to automate and delegate, right? So if you've already done the work in one-on-one, you've already mapped out what your methodology needs to be. You've already defined that my business model that I want to grow into is developing a signature program, having a signature course. Then when it's time to put in systems, you already know what you need to systemize. You know how to get the sales. That's one aspect that you can automate or either delegate to somebody else to do the sales of your service into your group program or into your signature course. The other thing that you can automate is the delivery of your service. Either you hire somebody else to do it for you, or you document it in a way where you have a online program that now is you delivering the service. That's you automating that system, right? But there's nothing for you to automate until you have steps 1 through 3 done. So step 4 is systems. Is this making sense so far for you guys? Like, just let me know, is this resonating? Like, I really hope this is hitting like in a different way. I really hope this is like new insight for you, because you have got to be able to focus. And then after step 4, so step 1, sales, 2, service, 3, structure, 4, systems, 5, that's when you scale. That is when you scale. And I did another episode all about what does it mean to actually scale your business. Go listen to that after this if you haven't listened to that already. But scaling is all about how do I now amplify what I already got to work. And so many people will be like, Jay, I'm starting my business. I want to do something that I can scale. This is how you scale. Like, you don't just start at the scalable thing. You have to build something that to actually scale. Right? People always start this word, I'm scaling, I'm scaling, I'm scaling. No, boo-boo, you're just trying to make sales. Like, you're not scaling anything because there's nothing to scale. You're at ground zero. You can't scale zero. Like, it just keeps going to zero. Like, first you have to get sales, then you grow, then you scale, right? So after you've done steps 1 through 4, then you're in a position, okay, what is the best way for me to scale all the things that I've already done? How do I now amplify the efforts that I've already got success with? And really it's like, now, okay, now I've built this all up. 5 is now, how do I double this? How do I triple this? But you got to have something to double or triple. We need number 1. Steps 1 through 4 is number 1, guys. So, and I get it. It is difficult to focus on one thing. But if you do not focus on one thing, I want you to understand how difficult your life will be if you choose not to. Picking one thing to focus on is hard. Trying to do everything is hard. And it actually is really detrimental to the long-term capability for you to get the growth and results that you want. So let me know right now, which step 1 through 5 are you at right now that you need to be like 100% focused on right now? Sales, meaning like you do not get to elevate or grow to the next level here until you know how to get sales consistently. Like, you know that if I have a proven process for me to follow to get sales. Step 2 is service. Okay, I already have clients coming in. I know how to get clients consistently. How do I now make sure that I prove my methodology out in a way that gets them consistent results? Step 3 is structure, meaning that you already have steps 1 and 2 solid. Structure is, okay, now that I've been doing one-on-one, I know how to get sales. I know how to get results. What's the best business model for me? Step 4 is, okay, I know all these things. What systems do I need to put in place to either automate or delegate? And then step 5 is, okay, I'm at a point where I'm ready to scale. So most people are in step 1 and step 2, which is a good thing. Because if you can focus on step 1 and step 2, you can still make really good money here. You can still hit your income goals at step 1 and step 2, right? Because for most people, the income goal is somewhere between $3,000 and $9,000 a month. That is achieved in step 1 and step 2, guys, right? So we want to get you to a point where you are making $3,000 to about $9,000 a month so we can elevate you to the higher steps. So many of you guys are in service, and when you're in between step 2 and step 3, it's really like, okay, how do I document my methodology in a way that get people results? And then now also, how do I start to position myself for that next level? So if you're in step 1 or step 2, like if you're trying to go from 1 to 2, I highly, highly, highly recommend that you check out my program, Services That Sell. Like, Services That Sell will gather you all the way and will help you package your offer, position your offer, learn the basics of developing your methodology, and will teach you how to sell your service consistently using live video and using sales calls. So if anybody who is watching this right now, we will open up enrollment right now for Services That Sell. Type in the word me in the comments, like ME, and I will send you a private DM after the live stream today if you want to learn more about the program and see whether or not it's a good fit for you. Just type in the word me, ME, in the comments right now, and I will follow up with you via DM after this live stream. If you're going from step 1 to step 2, Services That Sell would be a really good fit, and I can chat with you via DM to see if it would work for you. If you're in step 2, trying to get to step 3, meaning that you've already have been doing one-on-one services, but you're like, okay, how do I now turn this into a group program, or how do I now turn this into a signature course? We're coming out with that. So like, if you are in step 2 to step 3 and you want to look like, I'll be coming out with a group coaching program this year where I'll be teaching you how to take your one-on-one service and how to turn that into a signature program. So you've already developed your signature service. You already have a good methodology down. You already have worked with clients. You've already made 5 figures in revenue, but you're trying to like, okay, now how do I really position myself for 6? And how do I now turn my signature service into a signature program, whether that's a group program or a digital course? And if that is you, I don't know what word to type in. Throw up the little emoji with a little hand. And I'm going to be doing some market research calls over the next few weeks just to chat that out and see what that would look like. And if you just want to be somebody who's in that pool, just throw up a little hand. And I will also send you a direct message. So I really hope this was helpful for you guys today. Like, we got to get better at focusing so you can actually build momentum, and you need to focus on where you are right now. Like, don't get so caught up in the shiny objects and get so caught up in what everybody else is like, well, Jay, how do I, like, I'm ready to skip to this. Well, there's just certain things you can't skip. There are certain things you can't skip. So I think it's really important for you to make sure that you understand which area of focus you need to be giving all of your attention to. And then so you can also make sure that you can double down and actually build the momentum that you want and make the money that you want. So I really, really hope this was helpful. If it was, please share this video on your timeline. As always, do a screenshot of this right now. Let me pose for you guys. Okay. Screenshot that. Tag me in your stories. Tell me what your takeaway was. And as always, if you guys are not already in my free Facebook group, like, you can come join us over there, jeratiahawk.com/join. But I will be following up with everybody in DM that have just commented on the thread. And if, like I said, figure out what area of focus that you're in. If you need support taking things to the next level, let us know how we can help you. But I really hope that was helpful for you guys today. Enjoy your holiday, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye, y'all.